Happy Monday, folks. Welcome back. Oh, I hope you had a good weekend. Mine was busy, but good, and I'm excited to be back with you now, guys. Happy Monday. Welcome in. We are back in the saddle again. And it kind of rhymes, doesn't it? Kind of rhymes. That's how you know it's cool. That's how you know it's true. Melissa Lee, welcome in. Good to see you. How was your weekend? I hope it was good. Do anything fun? Do anything cool? Just relax? All of the above are acceptable. How you doing? Oh, the coffee is hot today. Coffee is hot and fresh. Oh boy, so we're back, y'all. Back to another Monday. I know, kicking off the week, it can be a little rough. But we're going to make it a good one. We're going to make it a good week. I got a good feeling about it, you know? Melissa, you said not fun per se. You deep cleaned your bathroom. Yeah, that's not the most fun, but now you got a really clean bathroom. It's a good perk, you know? We'll take that. I did a book fair on Saturday, which was fun. Always nice to meet people, sell books in person, sign stuff. But it was also a lot of work. Justin, you said happy Monday. I can't hang today, but just wanted to say hey. Well, thank you, Justin. I appreciate that, my friend. Howdy. Good happy Monday to you. And we'll see you on the next one, huh? Leisha, good morning, my friend. Good to see you. Y'all, welcome in. I hope you had good weekends. Hope you did cool stuff. Rafi, what's up, my guy? Welcome in, buddy. How did Saturday go? Saturday went well. Not as well as the first book fair, but that one was nuts. I mean, I sold out of everything I brought to the first book fair. I sold out of about half of what I brought to this one. Wow, why is that sentence so tricky? But it was good. It was fun. It ends up being a lot of work, you know. Getting out there, setting up the table, selling for 4 hours, break down, drive an hour home. So it's a fair bit of stuff. Melissa, I love that animation. Thank you very much for the gifts. You're too kind. Etta Green, great question. Let me answer that in just a moment. I first need to give Melissa a gift because she gave a gift. So you know the drill, Melissa. Goblins for you. Thank you very much for your gifts. You're too kind. And Chris on YouTube, I see your question as well. So Chris, these are my books. I typically write fantasy. This is the newer stuff. And the newest one is right here. This is the one that I'm pushing pretty big right now, which I guess ties into Etta Green's question, who said, what's the best way to advertise your books? Have one coming out in October, and I'm only on pre-order. Well, first of all, Etta, congratulations. Rock on, my dude. I hope your launch goes very well. I don't know the best way to promote. Like, I'm still struggling with that myself. My general advice for it is to find a community where your readers are and become a legitimate, valued part of that community. Like, interact with them, provide value, be a positive part of that community. That's one way to do it. There's ads and stuff, but I'm still learning how to do those. And then, you know, I live stream to promote, so that's one way that works for me. But beyond that, man, I'm still figuring it out too. And Etta, I see you have an adorable goblin in your profile picture. So, hey, this works pretty well. We are on brand here. Welcome in, Etta. You might have just found a place to chill with us, huh? Chris, you said, Chris on YouTube, I'm a big fan of fantasy. Hobbit's my favorite book. Dude, rock on. Love The Hobbit. Great book. And Lord of the Rings, both of them. I'm rereading through Fellowship right now. Been a lot of fun. You can't go wrong with that stuff, Chris. Solid stuff. Rafi, you said alliteration of the inner syllable / rhyme. That's why it's hard to say. Yeah, it did have some, didn't it? I was self-editing as I was saying the sentence and knowing it was too wordy. But we'll take some internal rhyme scheme. We like that. Blaze Gaming, what's up, my dude? You said, hello, cousins. How's it going this Monday morning? It's going well, my dude. It's going well. I'm excited to be here. I feel like I worked on Saturday with the book fair, and then I had 2 hockey games on Sunday, so I feel like my whole weekend just went by in a blur. I haven't even had a chance to check into the Discord. So this is me reconnecting with everybody right now. Um, well, welcome back, Ezekiel Rosendale. I think I just can't talk today, guys. I think that's my issue. But welcome back and thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Mayor Bear, good morning. Good to see you. I'm sorry I didn't advertise the Houston Book Fair too much. But hey, we got one in October. I'll be sure to advertise it ahead of time so that we can see if you want to come out to that one. The weather should be better anyway. Michael, what's up, my guy? How you doing, buddy? Whoop. I'm trying to spill my coffee here. My name Jeff. There we go. Am I worried about AI taking my job? Not really. I've not reached the stage of being worried yet. AI is just doing a poor recreation of what authors do, at least in the writing space. It's a glossed over, thin attempt at what we do. Mayor Bear, thank you for the heart meat and the paper crane. You're too kind. Thank you very much. Y'all, I swear, I'm in the market for a new gift to give to people, but for now, the goblin's still coming. So, there you go. Thank you, Mayor Bear. Enjoy those. I really want to get something just like massive, right? So just like a big unwieldy thing to like give away. Michael, good to see you though, man. You just finished Paragon. Now you got to get book 2. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, dude. Rock on, man. Thank you so much for reading that. Kiwi on YouTube, good to see you again. Welcome back. B Baron, hello, my friend. Welcome in. And also Ronald Anth said, choosing between a creative job and a real job. Parents are pushing for example. I think there was a part 2 coming. But I'll wait on that. But I can sympathize with that, Ronald. I struggled to choose. Like, when I was in college, like, I struggled to make creative writing one of my majors because I was like, it's not a real job, right? Like, it's not going to be a good return on investment. And really, in the end, I think that I didn't need that major. But honestly, what I would say is you don't have to choose between the two of them. I think it's fine to get the real job, and then in your nights and evenings work on, your passion project. And I think that's a great way to ease into doing this job full time. That's how I did it. I had a day job and then I wrote in the evenings, and I just kind of kept growing. Entering short story contest, writing a novel, submitting it to publishers. Then I got into freelance writing. Transitioned that into ghostwriting for publishers, transitioned that finally into writing under my own name, So it doesn't have to be an all or nothing proposition. Ranger Lucky, you said Warden is good stuff. Thank you, my friend. That's very kind of you. Chris, you said you're getting Servant of Rage. Well, thank you, man. I hope you enjoy it. It's pretty intense. Destiny, what books, if any, have I written? Well, here's a lot of them. That I've written. A lot of these have sequels, but here's a lot of book 1s. This is my newest one, and kind of my tone going forward. Wriggly Little Hands is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord, but y'all, they're goblins, so they don't really do a good job. They get distracted, they go off on tangents, they start a couple fires. It's good fun. Please do check it out. Links are in my bio if it's something sounds like you like to read. I'm a full-time author, so that supports me. Supports the stream, so I'd appreciate it if you want to grab a copy. Rafi said, are we going to talk about how you hit 3,000 followers? Hey, well, thank you. I mean, there's nothing to talk about other than to thank y'all. Like, you guys are the ones that did that, so thank you so much. I appreciate you, seriously. I couldn't do it without you, for real. Like, seriously, I really couldn't. Kiwi on YouTube, I'm thinking of buying Wriggly Little Hands as an ebook. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to give it a try, I'd love for you to do that. Anywhere I sell books, I'm happy for you to purchase them. That includes Kindle Unlimited. I get a lot of questions. Folks say, do I get a kickback from Kindle Unlimited? But absolutely. If I'm selling the book somewhere, it works for me, so get it however makes most sense for you. And if you do, Kiwi, I hope you enjoy it. Morgrol VC, great question. How do you go about finding a publisher? So it depends on what kind of publishing you want. If you want traditional publishing, which is probably what you're referring to, I'm guessing, what you need to do is get an agent first, a literary agent. So you need to look up active literary agents who are selling books in your genre. A good website for that is called Publishers Marketplace. I would recommend getting a subscription there for 1 month, immediately canceling it so it doesn't recur, and then you can use that website to find out which agents are actively selling books in your genre. Make a list of them, and then you query those agents with a query letter. And if they like your novel, they see potential in it, they'll want to represent you, and then they will represent you to publishers. That's typically the way that you would go through traditional. Lee Ware on YouTube, are you the author of any nonfiction books? I have written nonfiction, but it was just for ghostwriting, so you won't find my name on them. Under my own name, I do pretty much expressly fantasy and sci-fi. JT System Unknown, I'll answer your question, but I just realized my phone is not on Do Not Disturb, so let me do that. There we go. JT System Unknown, you said, do you have any tips for beginning writers or ones just starting off? Absolutely I do, my friend. My main tip for writers starting out is to, one, have fun with it. Like, don't stress about being good right off the bat or anything. You got to have fun with it first. So, like, write for yourself first. Number 2 is to write short stories. Don't start with novels. Novels are too long. They're too difficult. Like, you wouldn't go from not running to running a marathon, right? Do short stories instead. Short stories are easier, they're shorter, but they teach you everything you need to know for writing a novel. And there's a lot of free, reputable short story contests that you can submit to have your writing judged, potentially win awards, get attention on you. Famously, George R.R. Martin started his career by winning short story contests so much that publishers started asking him to write books for them. So yeah, have fun with it. Write what you want to write. Like, you need to be the first person to have fun with the story before the readers ever do. And then number 2, enter short story contests. Start there and work your way up to a novel. Lee Ware on YouTube. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but you said this is probably a naive question, but why can't individuals publish on their own? Why is publisher still needed? Well, we can publish on our own, Lee Ware, and in fact, a lot of my books are published on my own. I've gone traditional, small press, and self-pub, so kind of the 3 big routes. You can publish on your own. It's just a publisher has more reach. They're also going to have more money to put into things. Like, if you self-publish, you got to pay for your own cover, for your own editing, etc. Traditionally, a publisher would handle that. But you can publish on your own. Hex, does being a full-time author make it easy to pull girls? I wouldn't know, my friend. I've been married since before I was a full-time author, so I've never had the opportunity to find out. Mare Bear, I think you said earlier, let me see. Yeah, you just hit 20K words on your book. Rock on, Mare Bear. I'm proud of you. Keep it going. What have you had the most fun with in it so far, in writing it? And thank you for the follows, y'all. I appreciate that. Hey, Ivana, you're submitting to a short story collaboration. Excellent. That's a good way to do it too. That and contests. Please do that. I'm telling you all, short stories are a hack. They're a secret, and not enough people are talking about them. They're really helpful. Lee Ware on YouTube, you're very welcome. Please do ask away anytime. Always happy to help out. And thanks for being here. JT System Unknown, you said, awesome, I'll do that. Yeah, you're very welcome, my friend. Tide and Tara, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for popping by. I hope your live goes well later today. Good luck. I pop by secretly once in a while, but I hope it goes well. Rock on. Mare Bear said the most fun is my characters. They're really writing themselves. Hey, rock on. That's what I want to hear. That's how you know you're having fun with it. Tide and Tara, best self-editing tip / exercise. Either read it aloud or read it backwards if you're trying to edit. Like, it won't make any sense, obviously, but just read the sentences backwards to front. That helps you find typos really well. Otherwise, for self-editing, I would say just trust yourself. If something feels like it's not right, there's probably a reason for that. Cameron, how do I become an author? Well, all you got to do is write. If you write a short story, you're an author, So really just start writing. I think writing is beautiful in that it is one of the few areas where you can really learn by doing. Like, you can learn everything by doing when it comes to writing. So there's nothing wrong with just going for it, just dive in. Oh, you've been trying to get published for a long time, Cameron, but you can't. Yeah, unfortunately, it takes a long time if you're doing traditional publishing. The ratio of attempts to successes is insane, even among people who do eventually get picked up by traditional publishing. They've often, sent 100 query letters before getting accepted by one agent, and even that's not a guarantee you're going to get picked up by a publisher. So it is very much a numbers game and a long game. The best thing you can do is, if you're going traditional publishing. If your book that you're trying to query with isn't getting picked up, unfortunately, keep querying that one, but unfortunately, start writing the next book as well. You'll learn and you'll be better on the next one. And the reality is, some books just, ain't it. Unfortunately, several of mine have been that as well. But also, Cameron, look at small press publishing. That could be an option that works out for you. Melissa, you're going to need me to pull up Brandon Sanderson and give us a class on short stories. Oh, boy. I don't know if I'd be too good at that. I could probably make it work, but I mean, it's just like a novel, just shorter, It still has beginning, middle, end, characters, conflict, resolution. Just you got to do everything a little bit quicker. You have less page space to do it on. By the way, David Rutherford, I did not call this out. I should have. Thank you for the gift, my friend. I appreciate you. Around here we got a tradition, gift for a gift. So you gave a gift. You get a gift. This little goblin's yours, buddy. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate your gift. You're too kind. And welcome in. Pleasure to have you here this Monday. Finn Vitale on YouTube said, during school, did you naturally perform well in English class? When did you know you wanted to be an author? Well, thank you for asking, my friend. I did perform very well in English, reading, literature, etc. But probably just because I always read books from a young age. So that was just like my thing. I loved it. I think around like middle school, I figured out that I wanted to write. I was assigned. Wow, actually, this is kind of meaningful thinking about it. I was assigned to write a short story as a final project in my English class, and I'd never written anything before that. That was kind of a awakening moment of like, holy cow, I like writing. I should do this more. Yeah, that was around middle school. I kind of figured it out, and I just started writing in my spare time for fun, and never stopped from then on. So yeah, thank you for asking, Finn. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here, buddy. Tide and Tara, can you give us an overview of your books you've written? I can. Thank you, Tide and Tara. If we pop over to the book screen, down here is Lit RPG. To date, this remains my best-selling book and series. But that's my Lit RPG if you're into a little bit of sci-fi vibes with it. This one is a 5-book series. Book 3 is already out. Book 4 is written. Book 5 I am finishing with my co-author. And then up here is my fantasy. And let's see, this one's a bit more of a Jurassic Park thriller vibes. People running from big hungry beasties. This one is book 1 of a trilogy. Sorry, this is a standalone. This is book 1 of a trilogy. And I've sold the rights to the rest of the trilogy, so books 2 and 3 will be coming. This one is a dark epic fantasy about 3 brothers who discover sinister magic and how it tests their relationship. Perhaps gives them glory and fame and maybe some other negative side effects. And then my most recent book is Wriggly Little Hands, which is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord. It's been described as a D&D campaign where nobody put any points into intelligence, and the DM's taking a shot after every chapter. So it's very silly, very fun. And that's my newest one. All of those are available through the links in my bio. Please give them a look. I greatly appreciate it. The Goat to Fire on YouTube, you said, in your opinion, what's the hardest aspect of writing a story? Oh, and you think you've read Servant of Rage? Dude, rock on. You think this one looks familiar to you? Rock on, my guy. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, I'm hard at work on books 2 and 3 this year, so keep your eye out. We're gonna get the rest of that trilogy going. But you asked, in your opinion, what's the hardest aspect of writing a story? So there's 2, I think. Editing, I'm bad at editing. I'm not bad at it, I just don't enjoy it. It's like my editor does their work, and then I'm like, oh, God, I don't want to do this. But it's important. The other aspect is I think everybody has a point in a book, in a story, where they start to struggle. And pushing through that's really important. For me, that consistently happens at the 80% mark. I'm just like, oh my God, this book's terrible. What am I doing? I'm wasting my time. You just got to not listen to that self-doubt and just push through. And for some reason, that always happens when I'm writing. about 80% of the way through the book. So really just like, I think keep up your momentum. Once you start, don't stop. Just like keep that excitement, that momentum going. It'll make it easier. Bert, good morning, my friend. And Jack Ann, good to see you. What's up? And welcome in, folks. How was your weekend? Did you do anything cool? Exciting? Or you just hang out on the couch all weekend? That's totally acceptable too. Honestly, I need to do more of that. Leeware, any recommendations for writer's block? Yeah, okay, so easy. My go-to one for this is to set a timer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. Start that timer and then just write in the world of your story. Doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to make sense, but just for that time, as long as that timer's going, you're writing, right? I find by the end of that, my brain has been kicked into high gear, and like the creative gears are turning. And that's how I get through writer's block. That kind of like kickstarts my writing. When I'm getting hit with writer's block, I feel that I need to do that to get going creatively. If I'm not, if I'm just flowing, then we just start writing, you know? Let's see. You're tied. Oh, Misfit Mikey, welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing, bud? Good weekend? Anything cool? Tell me about it. Titan Terra, you said your sis just asked you why you haven't been talking about your book. It's sad because you're in a love-hate relationship with it. Right now we're beefing. It goes that way. It definitely goes that way. Love-hate relationship with books. I can feel that. It's hard, man. Writing's hard. It's all passion and hard work, and sometimes it's very difficult. I hope you work through it, Titan Terra. Just keep going. Just keep chipping away. The end is out there, I promise you. Leeware asked on YouTube, were you involved in your book's covers? Oh, wrong screen. If we go here. Yeah, so I was involved in these to the extent of giving the artist an art brief for them and a little bit of feedback on the way through. But honestly, the way that I really like to work with my cover artists is I give them a bit of a brief for what I think the cover should be, you know, colors perhaps that I'm thinking about, and a mood for it, and then I kind of just let them do their thing. I might look at a few drafts and give small suggestions, but on the whole, I'm just a writer, man. I just do words. I'm a keyboard jockey. The artist knows what they're doing. They make art for a living, so I'm gonna let them as a professional do their thing. I'll give a little bit of input, but on the whole, I like to trust them, and I find I get better covers when I just go, you're the professional, you know what you're doing, here's my thoughts on it, take care of the rest. Let's see. Thank you for asking, Leeware. Good question. Leeware, maybe? Could be Leeware? I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Let me know. Bert, you said you did some writing. You worked on art homework. Solid weekend. Hey, rock on, man. Love it. I love it. Did you share the art homework in the Discord? I haven't had a chance to pop in there yet. I'll be doing that after stream, so I'm excited to see it if you shared it there. Jack Ann, you finished up a client's manuscript. Super awesome editing, so that was fun. Hey, rock on, man. I love it. It's a good way to spend a weekend as well. I hope they're happy with it. Good work on it. Yes, Leisha, you're absolutely right, y'all. Let me drop a Discord link. If you want to hang out with these awesome folks outside of stream, here is a link to our Discord. We've got over 200 people in it now. I can't believe how much it's grown. But as Leisha has so kindly reminded us, they are doing writing sprints in there. So if you want to write along, we got a channel for that. You can go hang out with some other folks, and they're going to start a 5-minute timer probably, and everybody's going to write during that time, and then you'll compare word counts at the end, see how it went for everybody, and then fire it up again. Please feel free to join them. Leisha, thank you for running that. I appreciate you. Titan Terry, you said, I'm still going at it. I'm determined. I'll edit this book until I love it again. Very good. I like the persistence. But I'll just say, don't feel trapped that to feel like your first book has to be your best one. If it's your first book, I'm not certain it is. But we get better with every book we do write. Every story, every key typed, every word written is better than we were before. Go to Fire on YouTube. You said you were working on books 2 and 3. Do you write them one after the other or simultaneously? I do. I like to do one after the other. Go to Fire. I have a couple things I'm working on right now. I'm finishing book 5 of Paragon down here. Then I'm doing a sequel to Wriggly Little Hands, and then books 2 and 3 of the Servant of Rage or the Blood Rage trilogy. So I have to. Each of those kind of needs attention, but ideally I would just write all 3 in a one-shot right through. That's my favorite way to do things. Um, but sometimes, you got other books been waiting too long. I don't like to have multiple series running at once. That's just kind of happened. But once I clean that all up, we'll just be doing one at a time. I'm a very linear thought process kind of guy. Oh, no worries, Bert. Take your time with it, my guy. Finish it, and then share it. We'd love to see it. Jack Ann, didn't you co-write a book? How does that work? Yes, Jack Ann, you're correct. This series down here is co-written with my good buddy Luke Chimlenko. Been an absolute lovely relationship working with him. Co-writing, the way it works for us, it's gonna vary for everybody that does co-writing. But with Luke and I, the way we do it is we brainstorm together on the outline. We fire back ideas back and forth, and we work together to get a outline that we're really happy with. And then we just kind of write the parts that speak to us most or that we feel best equipped to do. So by the end of the book, it's really been a team project of, we brainstormed it together, we outlined it together, and then we just wrote the parts that made the most sense to us and, kind of merged our writing styles together to create a new product, which has been really cool. I really liked that because you can see that like my voice is in it and you can see that Luke's voice is in it, but together we combine to make like a whole new thing. It's pretty sick. I really do enjoy it, honestly. So yeah. Hey, Thomas Carver, welcome in, my friend. How you doing? And Snow, what's up, dude? Y'all, welcome in. Did you have a good weekend? Happy Monday, but how was that weekend? Did something fun, I hope? Or just kicked back on the couch and watched some good television? Both count. Let me know how you're doing. Good to see you, Snow. Been a while. Thomas, how's the book coming, my dude? How's the writing been? And Jack Ann, you said that sounds really cool, like filling in each other's areas of opportunity. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I know authors do it differently. Some have certain characters that they'll write. Like James S.A. Corey is the pen name of two authors who write the Expanse series, which has been very successful lately. They have a lot of different character point of views in their books, and they just divide up the characters and take the ones that make the most sense for them. So there's very different ways to do co-writing. You kind of really do figure it out with your co-author. Jake Hartman, what's up, buddy? Good to see you over there on YouTube. You said, does it take longer to co-write something or is it faster? I think it's faster personally, but this is the only time I've co-written, so it's my only one experience with it. And with Luke and I, it's definitely faster. For others, I could see how it would be slower. It just depends on the relationship. They're all different. Thomas, you said it was a relaxing weekend. Rock on. And you made it to 2,000 followers on TikTok, my guy. Well done, dude. Rock on. Congratulations on both. I think a relaxing weekend is something to be congratulated. It's way too easy to have stressful weekends or get bogged down doing too much. Relaxing weekend, I'm here for it. Go to Fire, you said, do you enjoy map making at all? Personally, it's my favorite part of fantasy. My friend, I love map making. In fact, every Friday... Oh, wait, that's the wrong stream. Hold on. There it is. Every Friday, we do a map making stream. That's the map we just finished, actually. I need to update it with a new map because we just started a new one. So tune back in Friday. We're going to be doing that map making stream again. It's a lot of fun. And yes, I love map making. Go to Fire. It's so fun. It's just a wonderful, I don't know, it's a chance for an author to become an artist for a little while, Dylan asked, how do you come up with a more compelling backstory for your characters? I'm not great at it. So, Dylan, if you're struggling to get backstory with characters, here's a little thing that I do when I'm struggling to get backstory. Sit down with your characters, set it like a 10-minute timer, and sit down in a made-up interview with your characters and ask them just like standard questions. Could be anything, but just ask them questions and then respond, from the perspective of the character. And I feel that you start to uncover backstory ideas that you weren't aware of initially. It just kind of, you just let it flow, let it come naturally, and I feel like the subconscious just kind of comes up with answers for you, or gives you plot threads that you can follow and pull on a little bit, and it starts to create a better backstory for the character. Or I'll think up I'll just pick a couple like key traits. I'll pick like 3 key traits. Maybe say troubled childhood, artistic passion, and I don't know, sibling, right? Just 3 traits like that, and just kind of mix them together and think of what kind of person that would create. And just go from there. It's really just about planting the seed of an idea and then just kind of growing it up into a full character. Jake Hartman, you said, I feel like I'd constantly be checking on things I wouldn't want to overstep. For co-writing. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you know, there is a level of trust, but it's kind of part of the character growth of co-writing, right? You got to be okay with like letting it go, and just like trusting your co-author to do their thing. It's interesting. It's a little bit like skydiving in a way, right? You just kind of got to go into free fall at some point and trust that parachute's going to be there for you. Thomas, you said I'm almost halfway through a chapter where the gang arrived to the villages in Florida. Oh, well, it was an interesting setting. As a Florida local, I am very well aware of the villages and all of the stigma associated with it. From the bad traffic to the... Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on stream. But have fun there, Thomas. They face a threat worse than zombies. Old people. Rude. What did old people ever do to you, Thomas? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Have fun, man. Have fun. Rafi, you'll be right back. You're good, buddy. You're good. We're just hanging out. Bo, good to see you. Welcome in. We're having some fun today. A little bit of AMA time. How you doing, Bo? Hope you had a good weekend, my friend. Misfit Mikey said, when do you find is the best time to have someone else edit the project? Mikey, I don't bring an editor in until I have done all that I can. So basically, as late as possible before you get a completed manuscript. So I'll write the whole manuscript, then I'll give it a self-editing pass, then I'll sit on it for a week or two, give it another look, maybe not a full self-editing pass, but certainly a read-through. And then I think it's ready for an editor. Basically, because you want to give it to the editor in the best condition you can, because especially if you're the one paying that editor, you want to get the most value out of it. So you need to give them the best example of your work that you can, and then they're going to find everything wrong with it that you missed, and then you clean that up. So editing definitely comes a bit later in the process, I would say. You're very welcome, my friend. Nathaniel Velas says, how many of today's books are written by AI? I think virtually none that are reaching any level of acclaim. There are AI books out there, but they get detected pretty quickly, and they get pretty ruthlessly attacked, as they should, especially if they've been passed off as genuine writing. I think AI is a trendy, hot button topic right now. I don't think it's producing books in a meaningful way. Maybe some authors are using it to assist. I wouldn't know. I stay far away from it. But AI doesn't write good books. Not yet. Maybe it will one day, but it definitely doesn't now. It just basically summarizes what every other author has done, and it's very thin. There's no emotion. There's no depth to it. You can see through it. So I'm not too concerned about that right now. It is still humans creating art that matters to them. Jack Ann, you said, don't waste your money before you self-edited and maybe even alpha or beta readers. Yeah, basically, if you're going to be paying for that editor, make sure the manuscript's in the best condition it can be. GM says, I just started to write and I wrote 5 pages and then I'm blank. Advice. Is it because you don't know what comes next in the story, GM? Is that what's tripping you up? Because if that's the case, what I would say is think of 3 to 5 possible ways the story could go forward. Pick your favorite one and write that for like 5 minutes, then stop. Pick your second favorite one, write that for 5 minutes, and then compare and see which one you like more, and pick that one and then continue the story that way. Or ask yourself questions like, what's the craziest thing that could happen right now? Or like, what's the worst thing that would get in the way of the character's goals right now? And do that. Or my favorite one is to go, what's the thing that I would be most excited to see right now? Like, what's the coolest thing that I could make happen next? just go to that. I still think that I'm trying to make it happen. I still think you can write an entire book where every scene's your favorite scene, where you just go, you write a scene and then go, all right, what's the coolest thing that I really want to see happen next? And you make that happen next. And then you ask that question again, and you just go through the whole book like that. I fully think you can do that. Sammy, welcome in. You said, I've seen that there have been bands on Spotify blowing up that are AI created songs and art. Yeah, that has been a bit of an issue. Especially if Spotify has not really cracked down on it. But music's a little different. Music's a little easier to replicate and pass off as genuine. Writing, it's easier to see when it's an AI pulling nonsense. It's much harder to do meaningful writing in a faked way. Zipblock, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. How you been? Hope you had a good weekend. Hin RMJ said, I've been wanting to write a book since middle school, but I don't know if there's a methodical approach. If there is, if you want it to be, but you can also just take whatever you're excited about and just go for it. One of the beautiful things about writing is you can just dive in, figure it out as you go. There's nothing wrong with that. It's very valid. A lot of authors just jump in and figure it out as they go. Malaya Kern, author, welcome back. You said, what do you think is better, your opinion, trad publishing or self-pub? I don't think there's a better. I think they're different. I think they're different and complementary. Trad publishing is great if you don't have the money for self-pub. You don't want to pay for your own artist. You don't want to pay for your own editor, etc. But trad pub is harder to do because you have to get picked up by a literary agent and then have successfully sell a book to a publisher. So that's challenging. Self-pub, anybody can do it. I mean, and you can really get the cheapest cover you want. It's probably not going to do well for you. You still need to pay for a good cover to get people's attention. It is the introduction of your book, after all. But you can always self-pub. No one can tell you no. If you want to self-pub, you can just do it. The problem with self-pub, aside from having to front the money yourself, is the space is incredibly crowded. There's so many authors out there these days, so many books. You have to find a way for yours to meaningfully stand out. So you're probably going to end up doing more promotion and more advertising and stuff in self-pub. Millie, welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing? I hope you got a good Monday going on there. Jack Ann, you said your favorite approach. What would be the worst thing to happen to this character? Yeah, a lot of folks like to do that. I think it's a little bit mean to the characters, but I also write books that are a little less emotionally heavy. If you're writing books that are pretty serious, pretty heavy, might be a good way to do it. GM, you said thank you. Well, you're very welcome. You asked, what about new characters? So I have two ways of creating characters. I either come up with them completely originally, through just a set of traits that I would find interesting. What if there's someone that's, really good at their job, but also really lazy? So they're just good at their job, so they get to be, they've made themselves good at their job so they can do it quickly and then be lazy. I feel like that's a fun idea, and one of my best side characters came from that idea. I either do stuff like that, where I pick interesting combinations of traits and build the character out of that, or I will pick a famous person whose personality I like and think fits well in the book, and just basically copy paste it and make my own version of them. Those are my two quick shortcuts for making characters. Zipblock, the next Incarnate stream will be on Friday. Friday is my map making stream every week, so y'all, make sure you're here Friday at 7 a.m. Central. We'll be doing more map making. We just started a new map last Friday. It was a ton of fun. I'm super excited about it. So yeah, guys, coming in for that one. It's going to be a good time. All right, a lot of questions here. Let me get to them. Malaya Kern, you said, how does TradPub work in terms of actually having funds to do things? Does the publishing company cover it all? Yes. So a quick overview for traditional publishing. You would query literary agents with your book and a query letter. If they like it, they would offer to represent you. If you like them and think they're a good fit, then you say yes. They would then work with you to edit your manuscript, bring it up to snuff based on their understanding of the industry. And then they will identify through their own connections and knowledge publishers that would be a good fit and that would be likely to buy your book. And then they would submit your book to publishers. If the publisher likes it, they will buy it. If multiple publishers like it, you might trigger a bidding war, which is the best part, where publishers are going to be fighting each other to pay you the most money for your book. And then the publisher handles the cover art, paying the editor, etc., etc., etc. So you don't have to deal with any of that. But you also have a little less say in it. In traditional publishing, they might just make a cover and you might not like it, but that's the publisher's going to say, we did our research, we think this is going to sell the book best. We're putting the money up for the book, so we're going to run with this cover. Sammy said, what type of advertising do you do for your novels? I'm bad at advertising, but I think I'm not doing a lot of advertising right now, at least paid advertising. I'm doing, stuff like this. Why am I so small? I feel like something changed with my camera here. Hold on, guys. Oh, I know what changed. I'm on the wrong screen. That would do it. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm back. Let's see. What type of advertising do I do? Okay, so the way advertising works successfully in self-pub, as far as I know, is you need to have multiple books out that are similar, and then you advertise with the one that has sold the best, the one that is proven that when it gets in front of people, people buy it, and that's what you put your ads behind, with the hope being, if someone buys it and likes it, they're going to say, what else has this guy written? And they're going to look at the rest of your books, and then they're going to, if those books are similar enough to the one they just read, they're going to buy those too. And that way, your ad spend, you might have spent $3 advertising to that one person, but if they buy your book one, and then they buy 2 other books from you, suddenly you've made a good amount of money off of that ad. So I don't do a lot of paid ads right now because I only have one book of Wriggly Little Hands out, and I want more. That is my direction for books going forward. This is like my genre now. So I need to get more books out in this series before I start running ads on this one, because I don't want people just to buy book one and then have nothing else. I want them to buy book one, read it, love it, and go, what else? Oh, he's written 3 more books in this world? Excellent. And then buy all of those as well. So that's the real way to get money off of your advertising. The specific place where you advertise, that's up to you and where your demographics are. Be that Amazon ads, Facebook ads, et cetera, et cetera. Harpy, one happy Harpy, and other name wasn't available. Thank you for re-upping your stream team. I appreciate y'all immensely. And you know the tradition. It's a gift for a gift around here. So thank you very much, Harpy. That one's for you. Other name, wait, didn't get it. That one's for you, buddy. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you for re-upping that stream team. It is a pleasure to have you here. Let's see, a lot of comments here. Let me catch up with everybody. Here we go. Tide and Terra said, do editors just deal with line edits or also plot holes / adjustments too? So there are different types of editing, Terra. A copy editor is going to just look at typos, line edits, stuff like that. A general editor or a developmental editor is going to give you feedback on smoothing the plot over, areas where it might be sagging, the pace needs to be picked up, characters that need to be changed a little bit. They're going to give you big picture edits. It's specifically a copy editor who's going to give you line by line, copy or line editor. So depending on what the editor you're working with and what the book needs, you might be working with multiple types of editors or just, a proofer if the book's already in good shape. Hin, RMJ, welcome in. You asked, how much time do you spend world building? Do you write all your stories in one universe? Hin, I don't spend too much time world building. I'm a much more of a minimalist approach to it. I like to see the world build as I'm writing my story, kind of build naturally. But that's just me. A lot of people do the world building ahead of time and they have more fun with it. Nothing wrong with that. My stories, in fact, my fatal flaw as an author so far, I'd be making a lot more money if this wasn't the case, is that all of my books are in different universes. Like, this is a trilogy, this is a standalone, this is a 5-book series, this is a standalone, this is a trilogy I'm finishing, and this is going to be my big one going forward. So, like, I mentioned earlier how when someone buys one of your books, they want to see what else you have. My books are also different, that, like, if someone buys Rise to Glory and loves it, and then looks at the Far Wild, they'd be like, what? This is totally different. Or they look at Servant of Rage next. Like, this isn't like Rise to Glory at all. So I was too scattershot early on as an author. Now that I've landed on Wriggly Little Hands being like the book that speaks to my soul, that I have the most fun writing, everything will be in this format going forward. This genre, comedy, fantasy, goofy quest stories. Other name, good morning, my friend. I know I was thanking you for the gift, but I never gave you a proper welcome in. Good to see you. Harpy, you as well. Happy Monday, folks. GM, you said I've always wanted to do that, so cool. Rock on, man. You're very welcome. I hope it helps you. Please, anytime you got questions, come ask. Anytime I'm streaming, I'm taking questions, even if that's not the focus of the stream for the day. Ozzy, welcome back in, my friend. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Slindy, you ain't got to apologize for being late, buddy. There's no late. You're here. We're happy to have you. Ozzy, you like the keyboard? Thank you. It's pretty sick. It changes color, too. But I like the purple. I think the purple's the best one there. Big A, you said favorite books: The Giver, Hatchet by Gary Paulson, and The Island by Gary Paulson. Hey, you got a theme there. Rock on, dude. It's good to know what you like, right? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you, man. Welcome in. Jack Ann, you said your issue with your second book is vastly better than your first. But you have to market book one. Oh, yeah. I've heard this before. It happens. The book you've written most recently is always going to be better than the books you've written previously, just because you're improving. Don't worry about the book one, the quality difference too much, Jack Ann, because it'll drive you nuts the further you go down that rabbit hole. You're always... Our old writing always feels worse because we're moving the goalposts forward. We're always improving. Jake Hartman, you said on YouTube, you said, what's next after Wriggly Little Hands? Or Wriggly Little Assistant. Yeah, so y'all, if you don't know, Wriggly Little Hands is my most recent book. But I'm currently working on a prequel to it, Wriggly Little Assistant. This is pretty much done. We're putting the final touches on it, and then it's going to be out to y'all. After this, we are going to be doing my books for the rest of the year are this order. Finish A Wriggly Little Assistant. Finish book 5 of Paragon right here. Then we're going to do a sequel to Wriggly Little Hands. And then if I can get there by the end of the year, we're going to see. It's going to be a push. We're going to do books 2 and 3 of Servant of Rage. So that's my 5 tasks for the end of the year. It's probably going to take into like February of 26. But we'll see. We'll see. Ozzy, you said Nova Online looks cool and Wriggly Little Hands. Oh, thank you, Ozzy. I appreciate that. You know, Nova Online, right here, Warden, book 1, is book 1 of the Nova Online trilogy. It remained my best-selling book to date. It really popped off, but Wrigley's coming for it. Watch out. Wrigley's closing that gap, and it's closing it quick. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. Sammy, you do ads. You do Google ads for a living. But you haven't thought about it in terms of books. Oh, if you do Google ads for a living, you might be in a good position to market books if you ever need to. Thanks for the fascinating question, though. I appreciate it. Someone said, where was it? Oh, Big A, you said, is Wriggly Little Hands about goblins? Yes, it is. Wriggly Little Hands is about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord. But they're goblins, y'all. So they get distracted. They go on side quests. They mess a lot of things up. They start a few fires. Accidentally unionize all the mad scientist henchmen, fun stuff. And at some point they get back to the main quest and hopefully don't screw it up entirely. You'll have to read on to find out. It's very goofy. Please do give it a look if you want. The links are in my bio for it. I'd appreciate it, y'all. That's how I make my living. So if it looks interesting to you, please grab a copy. Ozzy, where did you learn how to do books? Just doing it. I didn't know much getting into it. You just learn over time, being in the industry long enough, So yeah, really just practice, you just be in the industry, you write books, and you learn. I made a lot of mistakes, y'all. I've been doing this since 2018. I could be a lot more successful if I learned faster. But, live and learn, get better. Isabel said, when did you write your first book, and did it get publicized? My first book written was Servant of Rage. My first book published was Warden. And Servant of Rage actually went through a lot of rewrites. Took a long time to actually get it out there, despite being my first book. So Ward was my first one, and it was published. And they've all of them been published after that. So I guess on a good streak there, But that was 2018 that Warden came out. And I'm up to 10 books published now. Ozzy, you like R.L. Stine? Hey, R.L. Stine's solid. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Millie, what's my opinion on K-pop Demon Hunters? It's freaking incredible. I love it. It's an incredible movie. It's a really great example of art that is meaningful and makes you feel things. The writing is great. I'm really excited. I'm going to go through literally the whole movie and outline it scene by scene because I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned about efficient storytelling there. So I will get back to you on that. But I love the movie. Hin, RMJ, I feel like I want to be an author, but I don't know how to get past the dreaming stage. Hin, try to write short stories first. They're a lot shorter. They're like 2,000 to 10,000 words, or like 1 to 5 chapters. You can submit them to contests, and they're a lot easier than writing a novel. Start there for real. I'm telling you, not enough people do that, but it is the best way to get going. Yeah, Jackhand, it is an ambitious schedule. We're going to see. Y'all haven't ever seen me in my writing grind phase. I've been doing a lot of launch promotion and whatnot lately. I'm excited to pivot back to writing, full-on writing. Ozzy, you said I'm going to get the 2 Wrigley books when the second one comes out. Well, it's going to be a little while because the second one won't be released until maybe quarter 2 of next year. So if you're interested, I'd advise picking up book 1 now and giving it a read. And then the prequel's coming out pretty soon, so you'll have that one to read. But book 2, even though I'll finish it in the next month or two, it's going to go to the audiobook company, and they're going to need a couple months to do the recording. So it'll be a little bit longer before it's fully released, you know. Oh, Titan Terror, you're starting Wrigley this week. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. But thank you for trying it. I appreciate you. Destroyin' Dan, what's up, my guy? How you doing? Good to see you. You said, how is it written? What are you asking about specifically? This email never works at gmail.com. Said, enjoying a cup of Joe. Let's go, buddy. Gotta have your morning coffee, right? Destroyin' Dan said, I'm looking into another lit RPG, but I cannot stand when writers put a billion he said, she said into it. Yeah, so the funny thing with dialogue tags, specifically like she said, he said, you shouldn't use them too often, but readers have become essentially, most readers, I guess Dan is an example of the opposite, most readers have become blind to it, so we don't even notice it. So you get to use it more than you would other phrases that we would typically flag as word echo, because it's just accepted that dialogue tags are necessary. So most people aren't bothered by it, but I still recommend not having too many of them. Ozzy, you got a dip? No worries, my guy. Thanks for being here. Hope you have a good Monday, man. Appreciate you coming back. Jake Hartman, you said it would be fun to see you write a D&D supplement book for the Wrigley universe. That'd be pretty crazy, dude. That'd be pretty crazy. I need to write a few more books in the universe first to really get to a fuller understanding of it. But hey, I wouldn't be opposed to it at some point. It'd be pretty fun. Hin RMJ said, what program do you use to write? Just Google Docs. Yep, you nailed it. Got it in one. I really like Google Docs. It syncs between my desktop, my MacBook, and my phone. So I always have my writing with me wherever I go. And it's just, I prefer minimalist writing, software. I don't need all the bells and whistles. There's a lot of good stuff out there like Scrivener. Highly recommend Scrivener if you want, all the bells and whistles. But really, I just want a blank page and room to type. That's what I work best with, and Google Docs really, really rocks for that. The Go-to-Fire on YouTube said, I find he said, she said to be easy to ignore, especially when it's used super egregiously. Yeah, so you're an example of how most readers see it, Go-to-Fire. Most readers just look right past it. It's just accepted that you need them. They're a necessary part of a book, and people just stop seeing them. They become blind to them. Titan Terra is going if going self-publishing, what is the first step in that process? First step would probably be to get the manuscript written and edited. Second step, I would say, is probably to figure out your promotion plan. You need to have a really strong promotion plan. Get that locked in ahead of time. It's hard to make money with one book in self-publishing, unless it's a breakout hit, which does happen, but it feels very random about when it happens. You need to be on market with a good cover and a catchy blurb and a decent story, and then it qualifies as like has the potential to become a smash hit, breakout hit. But it seems once you have those factors, it just kind of seems like it's down to luck. That's what I've seen. So really, it's hard to make money off of one book in self-pub. The real way to do it is to have 2 or 3 books out in a universe that you know people are interested in. They don't have to be direct sequels, but at least related to one another or similar writing styles, so that if readers read your first book, they'll be interested in reading your second and third book. And then do like I said with the advertising. Advertise book 1 with the hopes that everybody who reads it and likes it goes and reads book 2 and 3 as well. Because the simple math of publishing is you're never going to have more people reading your book 2 than you had reading your book 1. It just never works out that way. So book 1's really a litmus test for how well a series is going to do. And don't be afraid to not continue a series if book 1 doesn't sell enough. I hate when it happens. It's not great. But it's just a reality, you know? The money's not there. Don't continue with it. Jake Hartman, you said, I noticed the dialogue tags when listening to He Who Fights with Monsters, and it drove me crazy. I couldn't finish the book. Yeah, He Who Fights with Monsters is a very viral lit RPG that's done really well, or progression fantasy, I suppose. But I have heard that the writing is a bit rough in the beginning. It gets better later on. I've not read it myself, but that's just what I've heard as a consensus. But, you know, the author was kind of figured out as they went along. But it comes down to style, right? We all have style we like or don't like. Destroyin' Dan, dialogue tags, I think is what you're referring to. You said, it's the first thing I noticed when I went from Azeroth Healer from Rhaegar to Dragon Prince? Or maybe that's an audiobook listener problem. I'm sure it's more egregious in audiobooks because you have to hear the narrator say it. Whereas when you're reading, you know, digitally or a paperback, you can just, you know, skip right over it, right? Hin, how have you seen social media affect sales? Big funnel for your books? What's the biggest? So I'm not doing a lot of paid marketing at the moment, Hin. Social media does contribute to most of my sales, but primarily this stream. Primarily mentioning my books on stream, because I'm just bad at social media otherwise. It's not something that comes naturally to me. And after years and years of grinding on it, I'm not making progress outside of live streaming. It's just very clearly a sign that live streaming is where I'm supposed to be. So the live stream is what pulls in consistent sales for me, and we'll pivot into paid sales soon once book 2's out. Which, speaking of, guys, promotion and all, if you're interested, please pick up a copy of Wrigly. It is on Amazon, ebook, Kindle Unlimited, audiobook, any format you want, paperback, we got it. Links are in my bio. I assure you, it's very goofy. It's very fun. Please do give it a look. I'd appreciate you. You're welcome, Titan Terra. I hope that helped, but please do continue to ask questions as you go through the journey. Happy to help. 4-6, good to see you. How you doing today? Hope you are having a good morning. Happy Monday to you. Hin, you asked, what's a lit RPG? Lit RPG is a book genre that typically takes place in a video game. Think about like Ready Player One. But it has evolved from that. That's kind of where it started. It's since evolved to have, basically, there's a lot of different things it could be, but lit RPG at this point in time really just means a book that has a hard magic system or progression system. So like imagine, it could even be a stereotypically like medieval fantasy, but the magic system will be very laid out, have hard and fast rules that you follow, and that, you know, it's like fantasy or sci-fi for people that love math and numbers is a good way to put it as well. Malaya, you're going to pick up a copy of Wriggly Little Hands today? Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it. Please do give it a read. I hope you really love it. Let me know. And thank you very much. Hin, for instance, here, let's do something real quick. Let's see if this is going to work. I'll help you out with lit RPG a little bit. Give me 1 second. I need to do this, and my second monitor needs to be set. Yep, I think it's coming up now. Is it there? There we go. Okay, so Hin, for an example of lit RPG, let me grab the back cover blurb for one of my lit RPGs, and it'll give you an example of kind of what to expect. Let's do Rise to Glory. That's a more standard lit RPG. So Hin, here's the back cover for Rise to Glory, one of my lit RPGs. Welcome to the Glory, the world's biggest virtual reality tournament. In front of millions of viewers, teams compete in a battle royale where they clear dungeons, complete quests, and slay other players in a race to score the most points. The winners are instant celebrities, and it's time Bash the Berserker joined their ranks. One win away from going pro, his dreams of fame, fortune, and that iced coffee sponsorship are finally coming true. Until he's kicked off his team mere hours before registrations close. With everything on the line, Bash manages to cobble together a new ragtag team, a washed-up semi-pro who hates his guts, a talented analyst who's never actually competed, and a streamer whose ego is only surpassed by her love of throwing swords. Oh, and if they want to earn their glory, Bash will have to trade in his warhammer and play as a 3-foot-tall, tree-hugging elf. So that's kind of an example of a lit RPG storyline, but that's also a little bit outdated lit RPG. It's a genre that moves fast. Virtual reality lit RPG like that was big 2018 to like 2020. It's moved beyond that and evolved, but that's a good starting place for it, as an example. This email never works. You said just made the audiobook purchase for Wriggly Little Hands to listen to while I work from home. Hey, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that immensely. You're very wise as well. I didn't push it too much, but the audiobook for Wriggly Little Hands, Wriggly Little Hands, is done by Sound Booth Theater, and y'all, they rocked it. I can't believe how good of a job they did on it. They brought in 7 different narrators, one primary narrator to do the prose and the main character, but then the other 6 all do side characters, and it's just great. The voices in it, it's almost more of an audio drama than an audiobook. They did an incredible job. Oh, thank you, Hen. That's very kind of you to say. I'm glad it could help. Glad the stream could help. Glad you find it inspiring. Please feel free to come on back. We're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. And we're always doing something chill, something writing focused. And like I said, if I'm live, I'm always open to questions. So please ask away. Ivana Wright, you said the lieutenant had you rolling in Wriggly Little Hands. The Lieutenant of Lament. She was a very fun character to write. I'm glad you liked her. She could be a little bit grating at times, but she's fun. She's fun. Jake Hartman on YouTube, you said the Green Bone Saga was weird. All the tags were in front of every dialogue. Something in my brain had to point it out every time I read it. Oh, interesting. So like, so it'd see like, he said, comma, and then quotation mark, and then the actual like whatever his line of dialogue was. That's strange. I could see doing that stylistically here and there to break up, the style for having dialogue tags always at the end. They can be in the middle of a spoken line. They can be at the beginning of it, but always at the beginning. That's interesting. I've not heard of that. Ivana, you related to the lieutenant. I love it. That's awesome. That's like the best thing I can hear about a character. Scout, you asked, how do I fix writer's block? 2 ways. The number 1 way that works for me, because you have to assess the cause, right? There's two fixes in my opinion, but it depends on the cause. Is the cause burnout? Are you working too much and you're writing too much and you're just exhausted? If that's the case, the solution is to rest. Take a week or 2 off, relax, reset, come back in fresh. If that's not the case, if you want to write but you just can't get there, what I do is set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes. And then while that timer's running, you got to be writing. You just got to be typing in the world of your story. Doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to make sense, but you just got to be writing in the world of your story. And then by the end of that timer, I find that the creative gears in my brain are turning, and we're ready to go. It's like jump starting an engine, honestly. And that's how I get through it. Because writer's block sucks. It's no fun. It's no fun. But I think that's a good way to trick yourself to get through it. It's often it's a mental thing that's stopping you, and I think if you can silence that voice inside and just start writing, remember, just remind yourself it doesn't have to be good. We can always edit it later. That's what editing's for. Writing the first draft is just telling yourself the story for the first time. You can come back and edit it later. Thank you for the questions, y'all. Been great questions today. I appreciate it. Always nice to get some questions and have a little bit of time to answer them too, Yeah, you're welcome, Scout. Give it a try. Let me know if that helps you. If it doesn't, come back and ask again. We'll try something else. But I think that'll work. That almost always works for me. Destroying Dan. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. That's a really weird way to do dialogue tags. I've never Never seen it done like that. The trick with dialogue tags is you gotta be sneaky about them. You gotta ease them in there. You only call attention to dialogue tags if they add to something. So maybe you want a character to be doing an action as they are saying what they're saying. Then you might change the dialogue tag from he said to more of an action, like he whimpered, or he said, comma, jogging across the room. Like, you add that action and attention there when you need it. Otherwise, you want your dialogue tag to be smooth. It's really just there to deliver the information of who said what. And the real advanced level, if you want to be really good and try really hard, is to distinguish your character voice so much that you almost don't need dialogue tags. Readers will know who's speaking just based on the way that they speak. That's a tough one, but it's a good goal to aim for. Ivana Wright, you said I found it helps to talk about my world with someone else. My husband helps so much, he finds my plot holes. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Talking through it with someone else. It's a great way to. It forces you to think about it more, right? It's kind of like how the best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else because you have to learn it really well to be able to teach it. That's kind of what you're doing there. I like it. I like it. I'm glad that works for you. Also, it sounds fun. Sounds like a fun thing to do with your husband. You know. I love it. Ivana, what story are you working on? Like, give us the pitch for your story you're writing. Destroy and Dan, you're good, man. You're good. You're not in danger of being muted. Jake Hartman, you said, I think it's an Asian grammar thing. Kind of like if it's a book that's been translated. I know there's a lot, especially in Lit RPG, there's a lot of books that come out of China, Russia, Japan, etc., that have been translated to English, and so some things do get lost in translation, and or it might just not be a good translation because translation's expensive, y'all. So that would make sense as to why it's like that. You kind of got to expect it if you're reading a translated, work. Just kind of comes with the territory, I suppose. Bama Dog Dad says, my life should be a book. I just can't remember all that's happened. Well, you got to start writing it down then, my guy. If you can't remember it all, but it's been cool, it's been fun, start writing it down. Or just like talking into a voice note on your phone. Record that. You can always use it later, I'm glad it's been interesting, though. Rock on, man. That's the goal, right? To live. That's the old advice. Write something worth reading or do something worth writing about. Old advice for writing that stays true to this day. PBJ Bullies, hey, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. You said I was stuck on world building so long, I decided to have a D&D campaign in my world to flesh it out. Hey, man, that's one way to do it for sure. That's one way to do it. That'll make you answer questions about your world very fast. If you play a D&D campaign in it and you have characters or players asking questions or exploring things, it forces you to think about the answers to, where does that street go? What is the next country over? What holidays do they celebrate here? It's a good way to do world building. And it's fun. Ivana, I asked you what you were writing, and you said I'm writing a 5-book fantasy series. 7 kids sent through space and time to save a realm of dying gods. All right. Going for a 5-book series right off the bat, man. Ambitious. I wish you luck with it. Like I always say, my advice is to start shorter. But people tend to like series, They jump into series early on. The problem with series is it often becomes, if book 1 doesn't sell enough, it's not financially a good decision to continue writing it, the series, because book 2 will never sell more than book 1 did. Unless... No, never. I don't think there's ever a case that it's going to happen. Even if the series is successful, more people are going to start with book 1 and drop off. Then we'll continue all the way through. So you got to make sure the interest is there before committing too much. Unless you're just writing it for yourself, in which case, write whatever the heck you want and have fun with it. Oh, traumatic brain injury, Bama Dog Dad. That's what it's. I'm sorry, dude. Then definitely write it down or record it so you can have it preserved. I also don't have good memory. Nothing like that, but I definitely have to write stuff down to keep track of it all. So that's what I do a lot. I write a lot of stuff down. Sorry to hear about that, though, man. That's rough. Ivana, you said it was 3, but it makes more sense to do 5. I've rewritten it 3 times now. Wow. Don't fall into the trap. First of all, congrats on the persistence. That is admirable. Second of all, don't fall into the trap of rewriting too often. Nothing good comes of it. If you got to do a rewrite like once, because it's absolutely essential, then go for it. But if rewriting, spending time rewriting is never going to be as valuable as writing the next thing and really getting to start with a clean slate to show how much better you are and improve. It's a trap that I speak from experience here. I fell into rewriting for a while, and it was just so not worth it. I poured blood, sweat, and tears, and I did make a better book at the end of the day, but the book didn't do that well, and it was like I could have written 2 new books in the time that I spent polishing one old book. It was just not a good use of my time. This email never works. What other audiobooks do you recommend? Let's see. Other audiobooks. Of mine, Wriggly Little Hands is definitely the best audiobook. Servant of Rage is a pretty darn good audiobook too. We got the narrator of Red Rising to do it, which is nuts. So that's a good audiobook for sure. Very different from Wriggly. It's a lot more serious, a lot more intense. Beyond that, I hear the audiobook for Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir is incredible. Like a revolutionizing experience. So I definitely give that one a try. That's the one that's really, really in forefront of my mind right now. Everybody that I hear that's read that book is like, but you got to do the audiobook though too. Like read it and then do the audiobook. So I'd shout out that one. Well, good question, Sammy. How do you decide who you'd want to be the narrator for one of your books, or how does any author? So it varies depending on how the process is going for you. Most of the time, in my experience, and in the other authors that I speak to daily, in our experience, the way it works is a publisher will say, we think, you'd sell your audio rights to a publisher, and they'd say, we think these narrators who we work with would be good for your book. And then you listen to samples of their past work, or sometimes they will do an audition for you, and they'll just read a paragraph or something from your book so you can hear it in their voice. And you just kind of pick the audio narrator that you think is going to do best with your story. You like their voice best. Or, this should always factor into it, narrators who have a following of their own. For example, with Wriggly Little Hands, the audiobook, we have Jeff Hayes as a narrator on it. If you're into audiobooks, you might know Jeff Hayes as the narrator behind the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. He's an incredible narrator, and that's another series where folks you got to do the audiobooks for it. So having Jeff Hayes as part of the cast for Wriggly Little Hands is huge, because people that like every book, they just follow every book that Jeff Hayes narrates, will come in and they will listen to the audiobook of Wriggly Little Hands simply because Jeff Hayes is a narrator on it. So the clout of the narrator should always factor into your decision making as well. That's not a very creative answer, but it is a realistic answer for selling books. Beyond that, though, you either have a list of narrators presented to you and you listen to their work and see what sounds best to you, or they'll audition and you pick who feels right for the character, right for the book, etc., etc. It's a fun process, though. Tartarus08 on YouTube. Have you read any Sarah J. Maas books? I have not. I don't believe I've read anything by her. I'm pretty familiar with her work, though. Just not really a genre that I'm particularly interested in. That being said, I should read one because she sells a lot of books, and reading widely is never a bad thing. You can learn why a book sells well by reading it. It gives you some insight into what is she's obviously doing something right, so I should learn what she's doing right. This email never works says, would you ever visit the idea of writing a story for video games? Yeah, totally, dude. I'll write stories for anything. I just love writing stories, I think it'd be super cool to do it for a video game. If a publisher came along and wanted me to do that, I would certainly hear them out. In fact, I have been recruited. I was scouted to be the lead narrative developer for a video game company, a startup video game company. Ended up passing on the opportunity because I want to be an author more, and it would have been a full-time job. But if a company wanted to hire me to produce a story for their game as a project, absolutely, I'd be interested in that. It'd be super fun. I'd love to learn the ins and outs of it, and I think good stories are good stories no matter the medium. It's just about adapting them successfully to their medium. Interesting question. I appreciate that. And y'all, I'll give a quick shout out here. If you're having fun, if you're having fun on the stream and you want to hang out with these folks outside of it, well, here's our Discord link. Please do hop in there. We'd love to have you. It's a lovely little writing community. We share art, we share writing, we give critiques of writing. Just hang out. It's a good place. Do writing sprints together. Personally, I didn't want to run a Discord, but chat kind of bullied me into it, and now there's over 200 members in there, so I think chat was correct. We did need a Discord. So thank you, chat, for your insistence in creating one. You were correct. Destroy and Dan said, how do you write inner dialogue compared to verbal dialogue? So functionally, I think they should be the same. They should be the same, and they should be based solely on what makes sense for the character. The character's way they speak should be reflected in the way they think, such that theoretically, if you had no dialogue tags and no text indicating who's thinking, we should know who's thinking based on just the way that they sound. So I think inner dialogue, I just write it a little bit quicker than spoken dialogue, in the sense of, I think they go together. They're two parts of the same whole, right? So I will often have a character start a thought verbally and then finish it internally if they kind of trail off into thought, or they might start it internally and then turn it into something spoken. I think inner and outer dialogue really are two pieces of the same puzzle and should be used together. I do like the Discord, Leisha. I love it. I just initially I was like, I don't want to have to be responsible for that. Titan Terry, you said still here. You're just listening as you get ready. You're good. You're good. We're just about wrapping up here, so I think the timing is going to be pretty perfect. Hin, you said I made a video game and wrote the story for a game jam. Got first place for story, but I don't know how well that translates. Oh, well, hey, look, story is story. If you're writing good story in one format, you can do it in another. I'm fully convinced of that fact. So trust your instincts. Trust your instincts on that. Big A said, what's one aspect... Oh, and congratulations, by the way, Hen. I should have said that. Congratulations for the first place. That's sick. Rock on. Big A, what's one aspect of fantasy that you think needs more attention? Good question, Big A. Ooh, needs more attention. I would like more fantasy thrillers. In terms of like cross-genre stuff. I think that there's two ways that stories can happen. Fantasy is a genre, right? Thriller is also a genre, but I think that thriller stories have common elements that can almost be like something within a genre. So I feel like fantasy is the big thing, right? And then thriller is the way that you're telling that fantasy story. I think I would love to see more fantasy thrillers. Like, thrillers as a genre are fast-paced page turners, typically pretty thin to the point stories, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of tension. I want all of those things applied to a fantasy world. I think that would be super cool. So I would like to see more of that. Jack Ann says gothic fantasy. You'd like to see more of that. Big A says dragons, fairies, etc. are a little played out. Yeah, you're exactly right, Big A, like a noir-style detective drama in a fantasy setting. That's exactly it. Like, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work in a fantasy world. Urban fantasy is a smaller genre out there that does tackle this kind of idea, but urban fantasy is typically a modern setting in which magic is in our world. I want to see the opposite. I want to see a fantasy setting in which the thriller aspect is carried into it. I do know, what is it, A Drop of Corruption, I think is the name of the book. Let me see. Yes, A Drop of Corruption is a book that's currently doing quite well. By, where is it? Robert Jackson Bennett wrote it. That is a kind of exactly what I'm saying. It's a mystery, but in a fantasy world. I think that they're spot on with kind of what I was wishing for. Jack Hansen, the manuscript I just edited was urban fantasy. unaliving mystery with multi-creature cast. Okay, yeah, that tracks for urban fantasy. That sounds pretty spot on. And you said it was good too. You enjoyed working on it, so I love that. Love to hear it. Destroying Dan, you want a Scooby-Doo thriller? Like, why has no one done that besides copyrights? Well, copyrights. I'm sure there's fan fiction out there for it. But if you wanted to write, like, you know, a legally distinct Scooby-Doo, similar but not so similar that you can get sued over it, go for it. That'd be fun. I think that formula has some legs to it, you know. But y'all, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you've had fun. I've loved the questions. It's been great. Thank you very much for the questions. I've loved having the time to answer them a little more quickly or a little more thoroughly. Typically, we have a lot more people in, and it's more of a fast-paced question. A little bit slower today, so I don't mind that. But we'll see how Wednesday does. But thank you for being with me today. We will be back Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And y'all, on I don't think I have a graphic for it, but on Wednesdays, we do a different format. Again, if I'm live, I'm always taking questions, so please ask away. But on Wednesdays, I ask you to come equipped with your favorite book. You drop that title in chat, and I will pull it up on Amazon, and we'll read the opening lines of it on stream, and then I will give my author's perspective on those opening lines, kind of dissect them, tell you what they're doing, why they work, etc., etc. It's always very fun, and I get to read a lot of books that I haven't read before, at least the openings of them, and we get to talk about books all day. So that's what Wednesday is going to be. 7 a.m. Central Time Wednesday. Come on back for that. And then, as we said, Friday, we're making fantasy maps again. Started a new map last Friday. I am in love with it. So fun. Cannot wait to continue with it on Friday. So come on back for that, y'all. I think Friday's stream is going to be a different time than normal because I am driving my wife to the airport early at 7 a.m. So it's probably going to be a later in the morning stream on Friday, but I'll put an announcement out in Discord about that as we get closer to the end of the week. Otherwise, y'all, as a reminder, I am a full-time author, so selling books is how I support myself. If you want to support me or support the stream, please do grab a copy of my newest book, Wriggly Little Hands, or any of my other books. The links are all in my bio. You can find them there. Please do give them a look. I greatly appreciate it. Slendy, you're dipping out. Hey, good timing, my guy. I'm doing the same. Jake Hartman, you said we need to bring back the writing prompts one week again. Yeah, I would like to do it once in a while. I'm just... Yeah, no, it's a fun one. I would like to do it again, for sure. Bert, will the writing sprints return, or is this the new format? AMA on Monday, lines on Wednesday, and Fantasy Map Friday? Yeah, that is kind of the format, Bert. A lot of the Discord folks have been doing writing sprints in Discord during stream to make up for the fact that I haven't been doing them on stream. Today would have been a good day to do them, honestly. It's in the past, though. Mondays have been popping off so much that I haven't had time to do it. Mondays have been really popular lately, like 200 people tuning in, which is nuts. So it's normally so many rapid fire questions I don't have time to do the sprint. But today would have been a good day for it, so maybe I should have done it. But yeah, check out the writing sprints channel in Discord. We got a lot of folks running them in there, and I appreciate them doing that. Y'all, as always, a special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided our background music today. Turn that background music up a little bit. As well, an extra special thank you to Raffi the Engineer, who made our 5th background song, Midnight at the Round Table. Raffi, thank you for that. Made the song just for stream. How cool is that, y'all? Raffi, you rock. Of course, a shout out to my excellent mods, Melissa Lee 28, Raffi the Engineer, again, One Happy Harpy, Simp1X, other name wasn't available, aka Slendy, Leisha T, and Aaron Winnick. Y'all, I really appreciate you keeping the vibes up. Thank you very much, mods. I could not do it without you. And lastly, if you've enjoyed this stream, please do give me a follow so I can catch you on the next one. We will be back Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time. I'm excited to see you there, folks. It's going to be good. Titan Terry, you said there's an algorithm change going on right now, so views are down all over. Yeah, I did notice that today. That's interesting. Do you have any more insight on that, Titan Terra, that you've learned? Guess we just got to buckle up and ride along with it, huh? So it goes. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here streaming no matter what. You know that. Bert on YouTube, you said makes sense. My normal job starts up again soon, so I'll be back to writing on Monday mornings with the Discord. Rock on, dude. I'm excited to see you in there. See what you write. Titan Terror. Okay, you said the change is temporary. Happens every 3 to 4 months. It'll go back to normal soon. Okay, interesting. Good to know. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Good luck with your live, Titan Terror. I think you're getting ready to go do that, so rock on. I'll pop in if I have the time. I'd love to sneak in there. But y'all, thank you for being here with me today. Lovely Monday. Let's start the day off right. Start the week off right. And y'all, let's kick some booty this week. Get some work done. Have some fun. And I don't know. Drink good coffee, eh? Thank you for being here with me today, folks. I will catch you next time. And have a great day. Be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching. Peace out, folks. See you next time.